Right, we're going to do a video today on amplifiers. So we have got a load of amplifiers, and the purpose of this video is going to be to see if we can upgrade the amplifier on our Range Rover Sport L494. The amplifier lives under the seat there. We looked at that in our little video when we looked at the Most Bus, and everyone's going, oh, can we upgrade the amplifier? So those of you that want to turn your car into a sonic cathedral of sound, this is the video, apparently. Now, we will do another video where we'll upgrade the speakers. We did that on the L405 because I think we've got these rubbish speakers half in ours. Now, our car, as some of you who've been watching will know, is a sort of bit of a Frankenstein Copart repair thing. Now, the doors that were replaced have got rubbish speakers in. I've actually got the premium 16 sound system, which isn't the top of the train. We'll have a look at a little spreadsheet Dan's made. But that's sort of top end, but not the highest. So we've got an amp in here, and obviously you've got your speakers. Now, your speakers, obviously you've got one big one in the door, and then you've got the two little ones. And I think the base systems only have 8 speakers, which is basically you've got 4 doors. So I think you've got the sub is under the driver's seat. You've got 2 in each door on the base system, and I think on the top end system you've got 12 or 16. And I think the 8 speaker system doesn't have both of these connected or in the door. So we'll have a bit of a look at that, but in another video. This is the amp. Now, I don't know if we can just put another amp in this car and it will work. I don't know if the amp is coded. I don't know if the most system on an Evoque is different to an L322. So we have bought a scattering of whatever we could find cheap on eBay. We'll go through those. We'll go through what to look for. But first, we'll get to the amp. So this is going to show you. We're going to take our seat out. We're going to open the carpet, and we're going to have a look at the amp, and then we'll have a look at what other options we got. Right then. Dan. So there's 4 bolts holding the seat down, 2 at the front and 2 at the back. Don't disconnect your battery yet, but we will need to later because we've got to disconnect the seat, and there's airbags in the seat, and we don't want to upset anything. So if we slide the seat all the way forward, Dan, so just slide it on the electric seat. Is that, or is the ignition gone off? Put the ignition back on, the keys there, and then slide it as far forward as you can get it. And that should expose, oh, we're in the dark. I did colour the heads of the bolts in white. So this is going to expose the 2 bolts there. Now, we've already taken one out. Oh, I'm going to grab the light. There we go, that's better. We've got a bit of light on it now. So we've taken the one on the left side, as you look at the picture there. Dan's going to whip that one out. Now, Dan, you're going to crawl in there and get that one over on the right-hand side out. There we go. They're long, they're massively long. That's why we've got the power tool on there. A bit of an angle there, but you managed that. Well done. Let's just have a look at that, Dan. Let's have a look at that bolt. They're all the same, but it's a fair old monster bolt. Yeah, so there we go. Yours won't be white. I did that to try and make it a bit more visible for you. Right, now let's wind the seat all the way back, Dan. Now all 4 bolts are the same. So go all the way back on the seat. There we go. Right, now you got to, all the way back. Now I don't know if you can go up a little bit to give you. Does that give you a bit more angle to get on there, or not really? No, no. That's just giving him as much access as he can get there. Let's have a look what he's doing. That's it. Now I think the other one's the tricky one. Let me see if I can get in. Can I get in this side and just have a look at it? Oh, is there room for 2 of us in here? So, go on then, Dan. Let's see if you can get on. Right, let's have that. That's it, right. So we got all those out now. What we do have to do next, now is the point where we need to disconnect the battery. Right, because we got some connectors under there. So let's just go and disconnect the battery. Now, I've done a separate video on... It'd be right, let that seat go down. Yep. So we're going to go in the back. Now, did we tighten that back up, Dan, on the back there? I think we did. So we'll just grab a socket there. 10mm. You got that one there. Again, you've got to take your spare wheel out, and there's the little earth connectors there. You getting that just then? That's it, that's enough. And then just give it a rotate round. That's it, wiggle it, wiggle it. Right, and then where's that plastic? We got a little plastic lid we just put there to stop it falling back in contact. Right, we're good, we're good, we're good. Right then, now we're back on the front here. Now, we've got to get underneath this seat to the connectors. So the trick is, you've got to sort of tip the seat backwards. So let's have a look how we do this. If I balance the light in here, let's see if we can. Right, can you tip that seat as far back as you can get it down? Right, okay, now underneath we have got some connectors. So we've got, I'm just trying to get it in the right position. So we've got these wires going in here, and there's 3 of them. So you really want to leave your battery a couple of minutes to discharge. So let's have this grey one here. Oh, I'm going to try and, I might have to get Dan to help me. Let's have a look. No, Dan, I think you're going to have to, can you come and help me here? So we've got this grey one, we've got to press, there's a little button we've got to press there. And then you've got to pull it back, press the button and give it a little tug back. You got that? Is he not going? Is he not having it?
I can't see.
You can't see. Hold on, let's have a go. Right, here we go, look, here we go. We've hoisted it up. That should, there you go, well done. What's the next one? Now you've got to see that little red bit at the bottom, Dan. You've got to slide that little red bit down. You got it, that's right. And then I don't know if there's something to press as well. What's that bit at the top? A bit higher up, that grey bit at the top. There's that. Push and that's it. Right, and then they got the last one there. There you go. So that's those all disconnected, okay? Now what we got to do with the seat, and I'll let Dan do this because he's a strong young man. Right, and Dan, I think the best thing to do, you could try and balance it in there, but I think the best thing to do is to curl it round. So what we're going to try and do, we'll shut that back door. If you pick the seat up, like we did yesterday, and curl it round and just put it on the floor here. But what you've got to watch is these metal bits here. Don't scratch my lovely door cards. That's it, watch that front metal bit down, the top bit there. On the dash, this bit here, yeah.
Do we need to disconnect the seat belt?
No, it will just come round. Right, watch the door card, that's it. Right, just put it on the floor there. So, well done, Dan. Round of applause for Dan, everyone. Right, so I think, although it looks a bit weird because you've got your seat out, the seat belt just remains connected. It's not doing any harm. It's there. And that now... Right, do you want to grab that fork tongue tool on the table there, Dan? Right, now Dan's going to have a dig around. Right then, Dan, can you see those 2 black round-headed things there? That's it. Lever those up. They're fir trees. Right, let's have a look at those. Hold on. Oh, where's my camera there? And they just push in. So yeah, discard that to the side. Dan's our new lad on the job. Right, there we go. Now I reckon then if you sort of pull that carpet back then, I reckon you should be able to expose it. Now, is that carpet alright on that sill plate? Or we're going to have to remove the sill plate? Right, we think we've got a plan, so we're in. Now you could just try and force the carpet out, but we'll go, I think we're probably going a little bit over the top, but we'll do it anyway, because it only takes a minute. Right, do you want to pull that middle, so that middle panel there, just loosen the rubber on the side, and then that panel comes straight back. Pull it at the bottom, give it a yank. Way. Now, they've got those little yellow clips. Now, if you need, these clips can break. If you need the part number for those clips, I'll put it in the bottom of the video. Remind me if I forget. Because they still, now you might have a clip left. You see that clip that's left there, Dan? Can you whip that one out with the trim tool? Hold on, I've lost it. There you go, yeah. That's it. So they're the clips that hold it on, and then you can put that back in the plastic there. Right, but we'll do that later. And then that allows you to lift that bottom bit up. Just pull that up. Go on. That's it. And that's on those little metal clips. You've got a yellow one in the middle. Oh, and where am I going? Right, and then you've got these little blue metal clips on the end there in the middle of the picture. Right, that's all that out the way. Right. Then we can, you can lift that. You might as well just lift that sill plate up while you're there, Dan. And then just untuck it from that. Lift it up a bit and work it out of that corner there. That's it. And they just go in. Right. And there's a connector on that. Or can we just lean that to the side a bit? You could disconnect it if you're keen. We got illuminated sill plates. You might not have illuminated sill plates. Just chuck it out the car, Dan. Just dangle it out. That's it. Right. Now we can lift the carpet. Right. And then under here we're starting to see an amplifier. He's hidden well, hasn't he? Right then. Let me see if I can use my foot to help you there, Dan. Oh. Right. Now on top of the amplifier, we've got these plastic trims. Now it looks like you're going to need your tool again. Dan's on it already. Now this looks like a vent for the air conditioning. Must have air conditioning up your backside or something. Right then, that's that little bit out. Yep. Right, then you got this other cover on top. Now he's got two nuts at the back there, Dan, that look like a 10mm socket. You've got a 10 there. We good?
Yep.
And that takes this cover off. I guess it's some sort of dust cover. Right. Pull that carpet back again. Right, and then that should just lift that plastic cover lifts off now. That's it. Right, now there's an amp. Now, when I removed this the other day, I did those 4 little screws on the top, but I don't think that was the best way. I think the better way is to do those black screws on the bottom of the bracket. Can you see that on this side? Yeah, those, yeah. I think you can do either way, but I think it's easier to lift it out with the bracket. And then the nuts on that side, are they? Yeah. What are those nuts? Yeah. Oh, let's have a look down. Oh, God, it's too early in the morning. We had an early start this morning. Go on, Heath. Now they slotted on that side. I reckon you only need to loosen those 2. I reckon you remove those 2. They're sort of like pseudo quick release, aren't they? Oh, they're slotted on that side as well. But yeah, get those 2 out. And then I reckon you can... Dan's worked it out already. He's a step ahead of me. That's it, that slithers out. Right, and then we've got all the connectors. Now, can you get it where I can see it? Oh, I'm squashed in the back here. Right then. Right, and then, Dan, can you got a position? Go on, jump in there, Dan. Sit, put your knee on the carpet. There we go. Right then. I'm going to film it sort of sideways, I think. Go on then, now I got it. Right. Okay, so we've got all the battery disconnected. So yeah, push the little tab at the top. That's one out. Go on, work it. Now these are the speaker connections. If you look right, so that first one, let's just have a look down. That first one is those big 2 cables there. That is your power cable, your main power, big monster cables. The next 2 the connectors that Dan's going to take out are all your speaker wires. So these sort of twisted wires here are all your speaker wires. Now I think, although our car's got the 16-way, you can see that all the plugs are populated. So it'd be worth looking on your car. Are all those populated? That would mean all the cables are in your car going to all the speakers. So there's not one gap in those 2 connectors, is there, Dan? The blue and the grey one. The green one's got loads of gaps, but those 2 are fine. Right, whip those out. Go on, Dan. Go on. Whoa. Right then. Right, and how's that green one? He's the same. Has he got a little tab there, has he?
He does.
He does, right. Now, there is another little connector here that you may or may not have. That next one that's missing on mine, apparently, is some sort of headphone output, something like that. I think if you've got the family entertainment system, you may well have that little thing there, right? The next one is our optical cable, so careful with that. There's a little tab, and then we can put that out. It might be a bit tight. You might have to lie it back towards you again a bit. Then you got it? Yep. Right, so that is our amp out. So let's go over on the table and have a look at what we got. Right, so those of you that are still watching, where are we at? So this is the one we've taken off. And obviously it's got this little bracketry. But you can see you could unscrew the bracket. But it's just a bit quicker to get it out on the video by just taking it off with the bracket. So let's have a look what sound system we got in our Range Rover Sport Supercharged. Right. So we do have here a label. Now this Prem 16, I don't think it means it's premature. I think that's premium. And actually, if you look here, it's clever. They've got one label and it must have all the different types. And what they do is they print black over the others and leave the one remaining. So now this format of number here is called the engineering number. So this isn't a Land Rover part number, but that's an engineering number. Now what Dan has done is he's made a spreadsheet online, and I'll put the link down in the description. I'll publish this online. And what Dan's done is he's given you a link so that he's worked out where he can. I don't know if he's even going to come out on the... So he's given you the Land Rover part number here, and some of them have a Jag part number, and then there's the retail price, which will change, so that might be outdated, but it gives you an indication. Some of them are quite expensive. And then also it gives the engineering part number. So from the engineering part number, you can get the Land Rover part number, and from the Land Rover part number, you can get the price. And also, he's done a matrix, because a lot of these amps were used on different vehicles, so that across the Jaguar Land Rover range. Now, I think they're interchangeable, but I haven't tried swapping an amp yet, and that's what we're going to get to. But basically, you've got different classifications. There's the base 8 down here. We haven't written that in yet. Then there's the high 12. Then there's the premium 16. Then there's the super premium 24. And apparently the wattage on those is apparently 2,500 watts. And then it goes down, and the base ones are like 400 watts down here. So we'll put that, and they all look, the really expensive one looks like this, where the other types look like the ones we've got on the table here. So if we look at all these, you can see there's basically 2 types, but there's 4 types, but I've only managed to source on eBay cheap a few different ones. Now, let's have a look. So, this one here has got a different engineering number. It's got EW93. Now, this is the high 12. So, that's good. High 12, we like high 12, don't we? But it's not the best. And let's have a look what this one is. This one also is another high 12. It's actually the same part number. And I think I bought one for an Evoque and one for a Sport. So I was trying to see whether the different vehicles are coded. So we'll plug all these in. Right, what else have we got here? This one here. This again is a high 12. So what I've got to do on my car actually is I've got to downgrade it. And my logic is if I can downgrade mine and the amplifiers are compatible, then I think if you've got a high 12, you should be able to go to a premium 16. So there's another one. But you can see on the back, so if you see a picture of the back, the framework is slightly different. You've got like a little tube train going on here, and this one's got like a little tick going on. Right, what's this one? So this is interesting, because this is the... Oh, get the label the right way up. They put the labels the other way up. Right, so this one is a premium 16. So this has got to be somewhere where you want to be. And this was fitted to Discovery 4 and a Range Rover Sport. So you could look. Now, here's a little trick for those of you that are listening. If you go on eBay, a lot of people who are breaking cars put this engineering number on. Now, if you notice, this middle bit of the number, this 19C164, is the same on all the amplifiers across the range. So if you go on eBay and click and look for 19C164, you should get a list of all the amps, and then go through the pictures and look. You're looking for ones with either a pink premium 16 or this one here. Look, this is a yellow one. This is the one we actually took out of our car. Okay, so there we go. Dan's written the labels. This was in a Sport 2010 and a Disco 4. This was on a Freelander 2, Disco 4 Sport. This one here is the Meridian Premium. That was on the Evoque, the Sport 2010. Right, so you're getting a gist of what we're doing here. Right, so Now, moment of truth. So, right, let's pick an amp. So if we pick one of these, because these look most different, right? This was from Sport. This one doesn't even say it should fit this vehicle. And this one looks different to mine. So let's see if we can put that in, plug that in, and see if that works on our car, shall we? Now, what we're going to have to do, we don't want to watch all this. Dan's going to plug it in. Now, what I'm worried about is my seat's not plugged in. So we're going to have to plug it in, throw the seat back in, reconnect the seat because I don't want any airbag faults, and then we'll test it and we'll join you in a minute. Right, we've managed to put the amp in, and that's all working. I can't play it too long or they'll have me for copyright. But there you go. That's all in, so you can retrofit the amp. So we've done a bit more testing, and Dan's tried all those amps. Now, the only thing we can find that doesn't work on some of them, and I'll go through, is, oh, the lighting's terrible. It's in the back here. Where am I even pointing? There. This little speaker that's there, thank you, Dan. This little speaker that's on the rear, what are we going to call that? Rear luggage compartment shelf by the rear window there. That has got a speaker in it on our car, and it's interesting because the one we took out our car, which was the one with the bracket, yeah, this one here with the premium 16, that works, all the speakers, including those rear luggage compartment speakers, but the premium 16 one works all the speakers in the doors, everything, but not those rear ones. So that's the only downside we can see, but they're pretty rubbish looking speakers in the back anyway, but that's what we found so far. So hopefully, but basically they all work. He's tested them, they all power up. There's no issues with coding, they're all fully interchangeable. Now, if someone can work out how to make these amps work on a car without a header unit, they'd be, so you could just connect your iPod to them, you'd be great, because you've got power, speaker outputs. I'm not sure what the green one does. If you could do it without the most bus, or get a USB to most bus adapter, every kid in his Corsa would be buying these off eBay and fitting them. Dan's nodding. Dan's like, yeah, I'm getting one. Right. Anyway, good luck with that. Hope that allows you to upgrade your amp in your car, and also look out, because we will do a video, probably today if we get time, on how to upgrade your speakers.